Alright guys, welcome back. Welcome back to the most underrated channel on the entire internet. Last night I talked to you guys about Bitcoin and it did exactly what I said it was going to do. It dropped and it found support and we're back up. I told you guys there was nothing to worry about. 100% correct. Even more crazy than that, I told you about altcoins. Specifically, I longed Ethereum and we're up $1,000 on a position on Ethereum, and that was in one day. I longed Ethereum last night. I told you guys I was longing Ethereum last night. I live streamed it last night. It's on my live stream. Ethereum was trading around 1,000. What was it? 11,000 like 400 or 11,040, 11,000, 1,140, and now it's 1,240 currently at the time of recording this video. So like I said, most underrated channel on the entire internet. Everybody was a little bit nervous about this bounce that we got, but I said don't worry about it. I said we're still consolidating, and guess what, we are. So I'm just adjusting the charts. So we're still in this consolidation pattern that we've been in for a little bit. I'm going to pull up some resistance lines. I'm going to pull up some super trends. This video is going to be a little bit shorter today. We'll get the EMA ribbon. And nobody trades off the 2 hours, so don't go on stuff that nobody trades off of. Alright, so we're on the 4 hour. And pull up the EMA. And we'll get the super trend. Super trend saying sell right now on the 4 hour. They're saying continued downside. We'll see. Alright. So obviously you can see we have a lot of resistance overhead. We have some previous price action below us on VPR, so we just have a lot of support above us right here. We're in an Ichimoku cloud right here, and yeah, we have some support right here. If we start breaking below these levels, we have support on the higher time frames down here, which I'll go to the daily chart really quick. You can kind of start to see the support, and it's going to be more towards like the 12 hour, which isn't a custom setting. I can't just pull up the 12 hour on TradingView for some reason, but you'll start to see the support around these levels on the higher time frames, like the 6 hour, the 12 hour. I don't know why TradingView only has 4. It's ridiculous. Bybit, which is an exchange, has more than that. Alrighty. Then I guess we could take a look at BTCD. That's important. But yeah, we called everything. We're still consolidating. It looks like we could still see further downside, but it looks like there's a lot of buying pressure. Like I said before, what's BTCD? Yeah, it's like falling a little bit. Let me go to the hourly chart. Like I said before on Bitcoin, if Bitcoin does fall, there's a lot of limit orders stacked up on Bitcoin. So exactly what I said would happen would happen. I said that if Bitcoin starts falling, it's going to fall, but there's limit orders, there's limit buys, everybody's longing this thing, so it's going to bounce up a little bit and then consolidate. This happened like 2 or 3 times. And I told you guys that we're not going to go down in a straight line if Bitcoin does end up going down. Now, if you're newer to cryptocurrency, I'm looking at BTCD, Bitcoin dominance, because there's other cryptocurrencies than just Bitcoin. And essentially what we're looking at right here is how strong is Bitcoin, how much money is flowing into Bitcoin. And right now, more and more money is flowing into these altcoins, alternatives to Bitcoin, according to this chart. Um, let's take a look at Cardano. I told you guys to look into Cardano yesterday. Cardano's just been doing absolutely fantastic ever since I talked about it on all my different social media platforms. I've said multiple times on the channel, long term it's going to 25x. Cardano up 9% today. Up 9% today. Up 9% today. We're the most underrated YouTube channel on the entire internet. That's no cap. And I told you guys last night to look into Cardano. It's up 9% today. I told you the night before to look into Cardano. It was up, I believe, 20% in the last 2 days. So almost 30% returns in 2 days. We called it. I told you to look into some other stuff, but those are just like prominent, like big market cap coins, like Chainlink, things like that. But we're gonna go to DXY because that's really important. And then we'll take a look at the stock market just because the stock market is a lead indicator for Bitcoin. You can't not look at the stock market, and we'll just give it a brief overview with all our tech. Okay, so it's saying buy on the dollar index, which means it's not really a buy because this isn't a dollar amount. This is the percentage of how much the dollar's buying power is worth. But not so good. Not looking good for Bitcoin. Looks like the dollar is going to continue moving higher. Let me just go to a higher time frame just to confirm that, because that's the hourly chart. Okay, so but there's a lot of overhead resistance on the higher time frames for the dollar. So kind of the inverse for what Bitcoin has right now. So I mean the dollar could be moving higher slowly. There's a lot of resistance. Okay. Alrighty, and then we're going back to BTC, USD, and Coinbase chart. Nice. Alright. And so let's see if super trend's saying on the higher time frames. Chimochi. Okay, super trend, and then we'll look at some moving averages. I think moving averages are going to be super important. Like we'll look at the EMAs. Just because Bitcoin's moved down a little bit, so I need to look at. Okay, so it's still on the higher time frames, at least on super trend. It's saying it's a buy. On the 4 hour, it's saying it's a sell. And again, we broke out of this consolidation right here. We had a little bit of downside. We had um, found support. What I'm gonna do, and what you should always do, is the second that something like this happens, what you do is you pull out what's called the Fibonacci retracement tool. And essentially what that does is whenever I first got into crypto, I was like, what is this thing? Like why is this thing? Like why do people use it? But it's so accurate. Um, I'm using it on a smaller time frame to get an idea of what's going on right here, but I know it looks weird, but it's so accurate if you're newer to crypto. Okay, so I'm using this on the 4 hour on this small correction that we had, and usually what will happen if we have something like a blow off or a local top, like around here, then we come down, we see a correction. We came down all the way to down here. And basically, if we start breaking into like the golden pocket rule, usually we move up. We either break into the golden pocket and then we move above the golden pocket, and that's very bullish. That means the price is going to continue to go up. Or we break this level, maybe this level, get rejected off of what's called the golden pocket, which is this Fibonacci retracement level right here, and then continue to move down lower. Okay, so right now we don't have enough information on the charts. It just looks like there's a possible reversal, yes, but we want to see like one more candlestick would be the three white soldiers essentially. And this is more so like almost like a morning star, like reverse hammer formation, or like nearly a doji. So a little bit of indecision right here, almost like a reversal, almost like a top, but not entirely. So we want to see a little more bullish action before we really say that this is the start to a stronger reversal. Really, more so, this looks like more like consolidation than anything. And to confirm like what we're looking at, you would go to the volume, and yeah, because the volume is falling down like this, what you would do is you would take your trend line, you would draw your volume like this, and you can see when I like connect this candlestick to this candlestick, it's trending downwards, and it's trending downwards as we're going up, so it's showing that there's a lot less buying pressure. I can't stream for too long today, so I just gotta make sure that I'm keeping an eye on the time, which I'm gonna be streaming again tonight. Again, we're the most underrated channel. I think I streamed for 6 hours last night. Let me get the super trend on. So super trend saying it's a sell, and I'm not necessarily saying buy, sell. And remember, I'm just heavily involved in the crypto market, but I don't have any financial like technician stuff. Like being a financial advisor, like I was going to school to be a doctor. Okay, I had a 3.6 GPA, dropped out, and I do this full time and make plenty of money trading. But going to school to be a financial advisor, those classes are stupid easy. But I don't have those credits. So legally, I'm not a financial advisor. I just have to let you guys know that. So super trend saying sell. I'm not necessarily saying sell. It looks more just like we're losing some buying pressure as we're continuing to go up, which just basically is saying consolidation based off of everything. Although we are slightly in a downtrend on the immediate time frames, not so much, like right here we're not in a downtrend, but like in the immediate short term we're more so in a downtrend because we have a low and a higher low right here. So we have a higher low and then a lower low right here, so that's indicative of a downtrend. And you could draw like a trend line like this to kind of show that you're in a downtrend. And we'd either break below this or like touch or on this line before moving lower. This is not a very strong trend line, just to give you an idea though of what it is. And then we have a high, we have a high, and then we have a lower high, and then we have a lower high on the 4-hour time frame. So definitely this is a consolidation pattern, if not a micro downtrend. But if you look right here, we have a low, higher low, higher low, and then this low is higher than these lows. So we're still in, our support area is still in an uptrend on the more mid-term time frames, just in the immediate short term, we're seeing nearly a I'm gonna clean this up. I was just giving you guys ideas and making it visual for you to like show you guys. So what do we want to look at? I guess we can go on the MACD. I guess that would be relatively important. MACD. Pull up the MACD. We'll pull up the RSI. Maybe we'll go on the hourly chart because we already clearly showed that we're having a little bit of issues with the volume, and that's to be expected with Bitcoin dominance continuing to rise. All the money's flowing into the altcoins right now. All right. So it looks like we are, it was, let me pull this up just a little bit higher and then I'll zoom in so you guys can see it better. I have the graphics on the highest setting that they can go on streaming, but it still might be a little blurry, so I'll zoom in. Okay. Now let me just get my drawing tool. Trend line. Okay, yeah, like that. Okay. So you can kind of see through this trend line that I just drew that we're starting to trend downwards, and this yellow or this white right here shows that we're losing momentum in this bearish trend, in this downwards trend action that was going on. This is on the 4-hour. We're starting to see a correction. Sometimes there's fractals, so these two white bars happened and then we continued having a stronger trend. Same thing could definitely happen. Fractals are a little more advanced for traders, but they do tend to play out. A lot of different people like fractals. So just an idea, more so than anything. We don't have even really the beginnings of the fractal playing out. Well, besides this, like we do, but yeah, we want to see for a correction, more so a correction. We want to see this another smaller white line or white rectangle to start seeing it. And like I've told you guys before, look how big I'm making it for you guys. There you go. Alright, so these two lines right here, the further they separate, the stronger the trend is. And so these are very separated against each other right now. So we want to see these lines start to converge on each other along with these rectangles. The next rectangle that forms, we want it to be smaller than the previous one to see a reversal. But right now we have a moderate amount of signs of a reversal, but like I said, it could be a fractal and we could just be cooling off before moving into a further downtrend. We need more information on the MACD. Alrighty, so we're going to take that out. RSI. And if you guys have any questions, I'll answer any questions. Just put them down, and then after I'm done going over the indicators. So 45 on the RSI, slightly dipping, it looks like. Yeah, you can see a slight dip right here. And it looks like it's a downwards trend. If you get more advanced into trading, some people will there we go. Some people will do this. They'll draw a consolidation pattern on the RSI. So they'll go trend line, draw it like this, draw it like this. Or maybe, you know, a touch point right here. And also this is to help find deviations or divergences in the RSI versus the price action, which we will go over later for sure. But yeah, it looks like it's trending more so down and continuing to consolidate until proven otherwise. Okay, and it's a little bit underbought on the 4 hourly time frame. That's what we're on right now. I'm gonna go over the S&P. I forgot to go over the S&P. We have to go over the S&P even though we're talking about Bitcoin, because Bitcoin for the longest time, the S&P, like especially if you're an OG, you know that the S&P largely was a lead indicator for Bitcoin. But like I've been saying, um, why is the Itchy Mochi Cloud not? Oh, there we go. The S&P has something called derivatives, and that's where like most of the money in existence is. Trillions and trillions of dollars is in derivatives, and these hedge fund managers that are starting to own Bitcoin, like whenever they sell a stock or whatever, like that affects Bitcoin's price because their ability to like have capital, liquid capital on hand is affecting Bitcoin, because if the stock market crashes and they'll sell Bitcoin or their gold, or they'll sell other things like that and then buy more stocks to cost base average into a position, things like that. So we do have to, the S&P 500 is something important to look at. All right. So it looks like we're going down on the S&P, but there's a lot of support on the 4 hour. We're just going to look at the daily, and then the RSI on the S&P is dropping, so you're getting more of a fair value on an index fund like the S&P 500 currently. So I would think that would be indicative of some upwards motion, especially with all this support right here. But who knows? I haven't been in the stock market in a minute. I made like 400% on that market correction, that recovery, in like a month, and then 400% ROI, and then I left the stock market to do crypto, and I've been getting way better returns. All right. So it looks like we found support on this EMA ribbon, and our size falling off a cliff. We're still a little overbought, but we're starting to correct back down. Very healthy. Looks like we might find support at this bounce, head down a little bit lower, bounce off, and then continue higher. But I'm not very involved in the S&P. All we basically need to know is that the S&P looks like it's a little down today. Isn't that? I think it like opened down and then it's kind of consolidating. It's what it looks like. Alrighty. Going back to BTC, Bitcoin. Bitcoin, what are you doing? Yeah, like I said, I was gonna make this video a little bit shorter today, and then I'll be back on. Why is it? Oh, I put BTCD. Yeah, so I was making this video a little bit shorter today, and then I'll be back on tonight. There's not an entirely massive amount of things to look at. I'm going to turn off all these indicators. We're going to go back to the macro charts. I'm going to talk to you for a second about the macro charts, what's really going on with Bitcoin. Like we've been saying for a long time on this channel. Did it just break out? I think this was from the 4 hour. Yeah. Yeah, that must have been the 1 hour. It looks like it's trending downwards. You can see a low and then a higher low, and then you can see a high and then a lower high. I really want to I really am not going to stop talking about that until it's common sense for my audience. So yeah, we're consolidating to the lower side on the RSI. This seems to be the trend on these lower time frames. Um, yeah, so let's take the RSI off. Zoom out. We're gonna go 4 hour. We're gonna go. So we broke out this consolidation pattern. I'm gonna keep this for you guys so you guys can get an idea of what's going on. It looks like we had a measured move. It looks like we just about hit the measured move, and then we do have a double top right here. Technically, it's not a textbook double top. Textbook double top would be if we came in, if the price action came in right here, we had our first top, our second top, and then we continued lower. This one, we have a W formation. We ended up breaking out of it, but I don't think, if my memory is correct, that this entire move played out. Let me see. This is a W formation. Yeah, it didn't play out entirely. And then we had this double top, and the neckline for it was right here where this trend line, or where this, what do you call this? What is TradingView call this? This TradingView calls this horizontal line. Right where this horizontal line is, this is the neckline for the breakout on this, not textbook, but it is a double top, and these do tend to play out. And it did not play out, which just means consolidation. Like you have this W, which didn't entirely play out. You have this double top, which didn't entirely play out. We talked about this. This has a lot to do with Bitcoin dominance. We were actually the first YouTube channel on the internet to really talk about Bitcoin dominance and say, like we have these really clear, decisive chart formations. They're not playing out, even though we're calling them. We're calling them first, and they're not playing out because Bitcoin dominance, the volume, and yeah, volume just continues to trend lower right now. We had that big spike last night I covered. I told you guys it's going to be fine. I told you guys there's a lot of buy orders stacked up, so don't worry. On the more macro time frames, we have this shoulder, head, and then this shoulder. Uh, it's sort of trending upwards, but you still have this high and this lower high, so it's still a consolidation pattern. Um, it's a consolidation pattern, but it's also this macro bear pattern, and this is a textbook head and shoulders bearish formation. If it does end up breaking the neckline, uh, there's a lot of places where, like, because it's kind of a sloppy head and shoulders, and so there's a lot of places where you can put the neckline. Like, really, you could do this. And I'll show you why we didn't do this on the channel. And it's very important. But you could do something essentially like this. And it would be, yeah, you could do something like this. Or this area right here would also, because it's like the V part of it, like the double top. Because in every head and shoulders, there's a double top. So in this head and shoulders, there's the first top, second top. This is the neckline right here. So you could draw something like this. The reason I didn't, and then this would kind of be like a slanted head and shoulders, which is what it is. And that would be appropriate. So there's a lot of different ways where you could draw the neckline. The reason I have the neckline drawn right here is because this is a significant low right here, and if we break up below this low and we set a lower low, then that's indicative of the start to a downtrend. And so this area right here is extremely important, and we've been talking about it a lot on the channel, the 27,600 area. Okay, so we're continuing to consolidate. We have, these um, ascending triangle. And I think I'm going to leave you guys with that. I mean, um, just take mental notes of this. We're consolidating. We could move lower. It doesn't look like if we're moving higher, there's a lot of buying pressure right now. So if we move higher, it's just going to be a little bit higher. Remember the buying pressure, all of that. And ask me questions if you have questions right now before I leave. Okay. Just dropping to say hi. Could could be a batwing formation. Yeah, so I don't know if on I so I know how to draw the batwing formation. I don't know if it's right here where you can draw batwings. Let me take a look at that idea for a second. Yeah, so we need to get the little batwing maker. There's what he's talking about, there's a specific tool that you use to make the bat wings, and you use it to make the butterfly wings. I'm not seeing it on TradingView. If you could tell me like where it is or whatever, I can draw out a potential bat wing. Um, this guy says COVID-19 trend. The trend on the left is a conspiracy information. You should do an animation waking up with Bitcoin chart. Trying to get his. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Um, I'll look into it. If you have any questions about Bitcoin, let me know. Comment. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm about to head out, but I'll be on tonight if you guys are interested. I'll be on later tonight, but it looks like we're just consolidating right now. I'll look into the backwing formation, and I usually trade on different platforms, so I'm not very familiar with TradingView just because I never was streaming before on YouTube. I would usually just stream on Bybit on my phone, and so we're consolidating right now. This is starting to look a lot more bullish, especially if we get a candle close. We could get that three white soldiers formation possibly. This is bearish engulfing, but that idea seems to be negated by these candlestick formations that are coming up. Yeah, so anyways, have a good day, guys. Um, yeah, nothing really to talk about with Bitcoin. We could speculate all day long, but we need more information. We're still consolidating in this pattern. BTCD continues to drop like we were talking about. We'll see what happens. See you guys tonight.